Somewhere across this World Cup, a player is going to raise his hand and ask to come off. He won't be injured. No one will have touched him. He'll simply be too hot to keep playing. Think about who that is. A professional footballer is one of the most heat-tested machines our species has ever produced. Months of training in the sun, a body tuned to run 12 kilometers a match, and warm, wet air is going to beat him in front of a billion people. That should not be possible. Because of every animal on Earth, the human being is the one built to win against heat. So hold on to a strange question. How does the animal designed to conquer heat lose to it on live television? Here's the part that makes it stranger. There is a temperature, not some wild desert number, something you might see on an ordinary summer afternoon, at which a healthy person sitting still, in the shade, doing nothing at all cannot survive. And the cities hosting this tournament are creeping toward it. We'll get to that number. First, you need to see what your body actually is. For most of the animal kingdom, heat is an emergency. With one solution: stop moving. A dog runs, overheats, and lies down to pant. Fur traps heat. Panting is slow, so nearly every furry animal lives by the same rule. When it gets hot, you rest or you cook. Humans broke that rule. About 2 million years ago, the genus Homo became something no other large animal had ever been. A body built to move through the hottest part of the day. In 2004, biologists Daniel Lieberman and Dennis Bramble laid out the case in the journal Nature: long legs, springy tendons, a frame that could run and keep running while the sun was at its worst. And the engine that made it possible was your skin. You carry somewhere between 2 and 4 million sweat glands on a body with almost no fur. That combination makes you one of the best evaporative coolers in the entire animal kingdom. You can shed heat while you're still moving, something a panting animal simply cannot do. Anthropologists think early humans used exactly this to hunt, not by outrunning their prey, but by chasing it through the noon heat until the animal, unable to cool itself on the move, overheated and collapsed. Read that again. We didn't beat our prey with speed. We beat it with heat. So you're not heat's victim. You are its apex predator, which sharpens the mystery to a point. If your body is the finest cooling system the savannah ever produced, why is the best of that body breaking down on a maintained pitch? The answer is hiding in one word we left out. Sweat doesn't cool you. The evaporation of sweat cools you. When a drop of sweat lifts off your skin and turns to vapor, it carries your heat away with it. That is the whole trick. But evaporation needs somewhere to go. It needs dry air. The savannah was dry. Dry air drinks sweat almost as fast as you can make it, and your cooling system was tuned for exactly that world. Now put that same body in thick, wet air. The sweat still comes. It just has nowhere to go. The air is already so full of water that it cannot accept any more, so the sweat pools on your skin, useless, dripping. While your core temperature climbs, you are pouring out your one defense. And it is doing nothing. This wasn't a flaw in the design. It was the one condition the design never had to face. So the real danger was never the number on the thermometer. It was a second number, the one almost nobody checks. Scientists track it with something called a wet bulb temperature. Picture wrapping a thermometer in a wet cloth and letting the air evaporate the water. In dry air, that thermometer reads far cooler than the real temperature because evaporation is working hard. In humid air, it barely drops at all. The wet bulb number tells you how much help your sweat is actually getting. For years, researchers assumed the human ceiling sat near a wet bulb of 35 degrees Celsius, the point where in theory, sweat can no longer move heat and the body cannot be cooled at all. Then in 2022, a team at Penn State put it to the test on young, healthy adults. They found the wall was lower. In humid conditions, people's core temperatures started climbing out of control at a wet bulb of around 31 degrees, not 35. 31 for fit, healthy people doing light activity. The safety margin we thought we had was partly an illusion, and a wet bulb of 31 degrees is not a science fiction number. It is a hot, sticky afternoon across much of the world. Now look at where this World Cup is being played. The tournament runs through the North American summer, across cities like Miami, Houston, Dallas, Monterey, and Kansas City. An analysis of the schedule found that roughly a quarter of the 104 matches are likely to fall in conditions that cross the safety threshold set by FIVPro, the players' union. 14 of the 16 host cities regularly push past the heat stress levels, where that same union says cooling breaks should be mandatory. And this is not a forecast. It already happened. At a tournament in Miami last year, in heat near 30 degrees with humidity around 70%, 10 players from a single team asked to be substituted in one match. Not because of the score, because of the air. So picture the moment that is coming. A stadium of 80,000 people, a billion more watching at home, a player, one of the fittest humans alive, lifting a hand toward the bench, and the cameras reading it as fatigue or nerves or weakness. It is none of those things. It is a 2 million-year-old cooling system, the one that made us hunters, the one that let us walk into the hottest hour of the day when every other animal hid, meeting the single environment it was never built to beat. We spent 2 million years learning to conquer heat. Then we warmed the planet, thickened the air with water, and scheduled the largest gathering on Earth inside the one kind of heat our bodies cannot touch. The player raising his hand isn't failing. He is just the first to feel the wall the rest of us are walking toward.